Graham, once again, you're back on Expedition Extreme. You should never have given me that mascot.
Now, we know you have a car that has absolutely no space, so your challenge is to take Dusty here all the way to Salala and back, and no damage. I want her returned in perfect condition, please. Enjoy your trip.
Well,
I don't know where you're going to fit it, but you're going to find somewhere.
hello Dusty, you're the new mascot. I'm going to make you work for that mascot that I've got to carry around all over the place. Tell me about this. I've had a bunch of Spitbriars, and this kit that you've just given us right now is insane. Walk me through this.
Okay, so this is an Auspit. It's an Australian-made product. I think one of the best mobile rotisseries you can buy.
Yeah.
Right. So what we've got here is a 70 centi fire dish, fully stainless steel. You've got a post which holds 2 rotisseries. We've got 2 brackets and 2 motors, and what we're cooking is a pork shoulder and roast potatoes.
Yeah.
So with a single bar, we're carrying on here probably about 5 kilos of weight.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah, the main bar itself could take up to 7 kilos of something. We've done lots of big food, multiple chickens, beef, whatever you want. But having the 2 brackets here and here gives you the ability to do 2 things at the same time.
Well, this is very different to the one that I've got right now, right? So the one that I have to knock 1 post in and a post on this side.
Right.
Which is, it's fine, but it's a pain in the ass because I can't ever get to where I want the heat. So the flames are actually drawing towards the lamb right now, which I don't want it to do. I want the flames to be here and I want the heat to be on this side. So you can see that the lamb is taking a bit of a punishment right now. Where this, I'm moving it around where the heat is and I can do whatever I want.
And you can also adjust height up and down.
Of course, I can go up and down, and this single pole and this pole over here, I mean, that's quite heavy. I mean, that in its own, I think it's about 2 kgs.
Yeah,
it's pretty solid there.
It's a solid pole, and the great thing is in the desert, we've knocked it into the desert, into the sand, and you don't need support. It'll hold its own. We're slightly different. When you come onto rock environments, you have to make allowances, and that's what we've done. So we're using a bit of a rock just for support.
Yeah.
So all good. Now, this will now sit and cook, and you can adjust up, down, however you like. Whereas when you have a fixed, right, you're done.
Yeah.
The other thing is also great is the fire tray. When you finish cooking, can become your evening fire pit.
Correct.
So you can move that.
United Arab Emirates right now is
no fires on the ground.
On the ground, in the desert.
Correct.
So the fire pit, and what's beautiful about this fire pit, it actually fits right onto my spare wheel. So my spare wheel carrier, that's the size of that, goes straight in. I put the bin bag over it. It's there.
Done.
Done. The little feet screw off.
The legs screw off and it's all flat. And you can get bags made for them and stuff, which we do. And again, it's stainless steel.
Yeah.
So what happens as soon as you dump your coal out of it, the tray goes cold. So you're not waiting around for hours if you want to do a barbecue in the night and then go.
Yeah.
You can move quite quickly because the stainless gets cold quickly because it doesn't retain heat.
Okay.
So it's, from that perspective, really good.
Right, so let's talk about what we got over here. You've done some potatoes for us. So we got potatoes, you've sliced them up, you've parboiled them, and you've stuck them in there. But why do you have it so close to the fire? I mean, isn't that going to burn?
No, so with potatoes, what we found is the closer to the fire, the better. So you've not pre-cooked them, we've just parboiled them.
Oh, you just
We've just brought them potatoes in a pot, bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, drain them. Then
so water got to a boil, you stopped it immediately?
Immediately, drain the water, take the potatoes out.
Yeah.
Olive oil, salt, onions. You can add in bacon, you can add in spices, whatever you feel. Any vegetables in, and you let them go.
And
now
that's just turning.
It's just slowly rotating.
So this is going to come out. I would imagine when it's done, it will be nice, like a crispy potato.
Yeah.
On the outside and
very
the
fluffy
inside,
on the fluffy. It's like having a roast potato at home, but you're getting it on a spit, and you also get that flavour of the wood in the barbecue as well.
I suppose it makes sense because if we're doing a potato on the fire and I'm putting it into tin foil, right? So I put it straight onto the coals and it's on there for like a half hour while I'm doing chops or whatever meat I'm doing. So it makes sense that you've dropped it all the way down onto the bottom over there. This is about 2 kgs of meat over here, so it's probably going to take about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And you reckon that's going to go for about An hour and a half,
No,
2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
2 hours for the potatoes.
Yeah, this is the smaller basket, which is great, but
Yeah.
we found that potato is going to take you like this
Yeah.
around about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay.
2 hours. Now, the nice thing is, when they're done,
Yeah.
you can just lift them up out of the way
Yeah.
and let your meat finish, and your potatoes are staying hot. You're not going to overcook them.
Ah.
So you can just flip this around, have your potatoes high, your meat goes a bit lower, finish everything off, and it all stays nice and hot.
Well, that's the beauty, because my one that I had before, now thanks to you guys, I could never just move it out of the way. So this, you could just move this off the
Yeah,
heat. It keeps it warm. It stays on the rotisserie. It keeps on just. It's like a warmer drawer,
Yeah,
basically.
just keeps warm and stays next to it until you're ready for it.
Awesome piece of kit. If you guys want to know more about this, I'm going to link Graham's description, his email address below this. They are the official dealers for the Middle East, for Auspit. Great piece of kit. I tell you what, it's so sturdy. I couldn't believe how heavy it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really good. It's all stainless steel.
Yeah, I mean, this pole over here, I think you could take a 10-pound hammer and try and smash it into this rock over here, and you'd probably get into the rock. It's like a Hilti.
Yeah, no, if you drove it hard enough, it'd go. It's not going to break because it's stainless. It's so strong, very durable. The motors are awesome. Motors, we're finding on the double D batteries, we're getting at least 60 hours. They say 90, but we know we're getting 60.
Yeah.
So, you know, turn your batteries around, conserve them. They run for a long time. It works really well. We use it at home, in the desert.
Yeah.
When you're cooking for a big group of people, this is easy.
Oh, I love traveling with a roast, because the roast, number one, if the roast is frozen and I put it in my freezer, it's helping the freezer all the time. So I'm not consuming so much energy trying to keep my freezer freezing all the time, because the roast is your last meal of the camp, or whatever the case may be. So that's keeping the freezer going all the time. And I love doing rotisseries. I do it every time, but this is just going to make my life so much easier, because
It's quick, it's easy.
the wind changes and I can move the meat. Look how easy this is. Where in the past I had to take the other one out and try and knock it in, especially where we're here, we don't have much. Well, I think we've only gone in.
Yeah, we got a
20 centimeters,
half
or 30
a foot of
centimeters.
sand in
Yeah.
the so.
And that's why we're using the rock. But if I had the other one, I'd have now this flimsy.
Yeah, you got to move everything around, and it changes. And also, you know, now having a fire dish,
Yeah, it's come closer to.
you're off the ground. You're not having to worry about sand so much being kicked into it and all that sort of stuff as
That's the
well.
worst, because here you are, we're going to be 2 hours, and kids come walking around, and as they're walking past, they're flicking up sand with their slops and so on and so forth. And yeah,
It's very visible, and again, like I said, after you've done your cooking, it turns into a beautiful fire pit. Safety for children, families with kids, they're not going to run through this. We've all had children run through a covered up fire at some point in our lives, and to avoid all this, we only use trays now. Even though the girls have got a bit older, for me, we still use a fire tray because you can move it.
Yeah.
It's windy.
Exactly. I want to move my fire closer to there. Yeah. Great piece of kit. Get a hold of Graham. Have a look at it. It's, well, I'll tell you what. Spoiler alert, we were in the Oman coast and we were cooking on this for a couple of evenings, didn't we?
Yeah, we
and
did.
That's
And
where
again, look
after I saw that, I said, I have to have one.
But look how easy that was. We were driving up the road, pulled into a supermarket, threw some frozen chickens in the back of the truck. By the time we reached our destination, they were defrosted.
Yeah.
We set a fire and cooked chickens. We didn't have to worry about food. We didn't have to worry about chopping this, and that. We had roasted chicken within a couple of hours. Easy.
It takes zero space. It takes absolutely no space because they all fold up.
All goes into a nice neat bag, one single bag, all of it except the trays separate, but all your poles, your posts, your brackets, your motors, your spikes, easy.
Why buy dehydrated foods and 2-minute noodles when you can cook like this when you go camping? Graham,
Fantastic.
mate, as always, great product, thank you.
Looking forward to eating it now.
And I said to you, I'm going to put you in front of the camera more often because of Dusty, but Dusty's here, so Dusty will have some of this tonight. We're going to cook it for the next 2 hours. I don't know if we're going to be able to film that because the sun's going to go, but we'll have a great evening. We'll catch you on the next show. If it's Dusty, drive it.